Hey, what's up everybody? Another pickups video for you guys, and this is something that I picked up a while back. I can't remember when. It's one of those things where I grabbed it. It looked freaking hysterical to me, just on the design of it, or I couldn't pass it up for $5 at Goodwill. And just set it aside. I never tested it. So, being it's hot as all fuck, got bored and got it out and tested it, which surprisingly, this clone for playing just regular old NES carts, American ones, seems to work pretty goddamn good. I'm surprised. Build quality, other than one little thing to where you guys and gals that are really good at modifying stuff to make it better, this is something where you may be able to make it better. It's unusual on how they did the board. I haven't seen this on any other of the clone consoles that I've ever taken apart. It has to do with the cartridge slot. Otherwise, it's just a goofy looking system. And when I looked it up online, I only found one guy that was showing pictures of his, and I think it was on Facebook, where he was just saying it's a goofy ass looking system. Otherwise, it's your typical stuff that you get on like Wish or something. I'm pretty sure, like my other two China-made game systems that have the games built in, the little handheld one and the one that looks like a little mini Super Nintendo, came from like Wish. Otherwise, gotta say, it's a goofy looking game console. Looks like they scraped off Ultraman's face. And yes, one eye lights up red, the other blue. One for power, one for reset. And as usual, gotta read these words to you. Because it's just, it's just laughable. It's always been this way. Ever since I was a little kid on any of this kind of stuff, it's just laughable. They always gotta hype it up big time. XPG FC game console features ergonomic and comfortable style design, precise 4-way of arcade directional pad. Yeah, those are arcade pads. The joystick very small. Direct play your FC/NES games, which the first thing that popped in my mind. Holy shit, finally one of these that plays both Famicom and American NES carts. Which, at the moment, and probably all the further moments, is I'm not that good. Snot. But close. Once you flip the back and see what it really plays. Direct player on home television. Single and turbo action button give you new experience. One player or two player depend on you and your friend request. So yeah, when you're on Facebook and you're doing your friend request, make sure you get the right one. Don't fuck up. Below that, a picture of these awesome controllers. FC NES game card. Take you back to FC NES Fantasy Dream World of TV games. Yes, take me back to the Fantasy Dream World. And then all the frickin' instructions on how to hook it up and what it does and all that shit. This is where it says what it really does, which I'd have to look them up to see if they're different or not. It says insert with US or European version game card. And it's cartridge. So it's supposed to play American and European carts, not American and Famicom. And just all the usual shit. console, AV cable, AC adapter, 2 controllers as usual. And no literature, as that's your literature. So anyways, if anything, on some of the ones I've gotten, which is not many, unless I find them cheap, I mean really cheap, like $5 for this, I don't buy them, because so many of them are crap. This one actually feels pretty rugged. When I squeeze on it, I don't feel like I'm going to bust in the plastic. As usual, when I look through some of the vents, I see absolutely nothing. As one circuit board in the middle with your cartridge slot, one to the back and one to the front, connected to ribbon cables. And one thing I did notice, the ribbon cables actually have glue on them to keep them from disconnecting, as in the last thing that I showed. Which that was the problem. They should have put freaking glue on the cables of that Atari thing, man. Which on these, until I decide to open this up and take some stuff apart, which I plan on doing, I want to see this circuit board up close, because it's, like I said, it's unusual compared to the other ones I got. Otherwise, for anybody that doesn't know how to work on stuff, like a lot of these, be really careful taking out your cartridge and putting it in. Carefully. Looks like the only thing holding down the main board is the screws, is in 2 screws, one on each side of the cartridge slot. I don't see anything else holding that board in place. So I'm pretty sure if you had a cartridge that was stuck and you gave it a really good yank, you'd rip that board right out of the thing. So, on the unusual thing, try and show you guys here with my little spotlight.
Spotlight!
Incense, man. Oh, every time I turn this fucking thing on when it's facing me now, it's gotta turn that one on first. This light, not that light. See that back there? Black area, pretty much in line with my finger. There's your main cartridge slot, but behind it is literally the pinouts, all ready to be soldered to for another cartridge slot, which I'm assuming is Famicom. Until I take this apart, is the way they did this, other than maybe adding a resistor or something, is there's one little thing, like if you're facing it, it would be behind the power button. So to the left, and it looks like it just says 104 for like a resistor or a capacitor, I don't know. Maybe a capacitor. That would make more sense. Because the way they did it, it is right up to the edge. To where if they put in the second cartridge slot, yeah, it'd be literally almost hanging off of the circuit board. So that's something to where I don't know if they intended on having this dual port to where it can play American, European, and Famicom, or if they intended to have it to where the ones that are for PAL or whatever play Famicom, assuming Famicoms are pale. Maybe they intended to move that forward and get rid of the American one and just use the other. Because I can see traces going off of that to the American cartridge slot. So they just jumped the traces. So yeah, any of you guys out there that like modding stuff, do something to mod. If it's worth putting the time into. On gameplay, it didn't look bad at all. I only tested just less than a handful of cartridges that I could find, and they all looked good on it. It sounded good. Very surprised, because some of these, y'all know, if you've gone through a few of these, if it's not the graphics to where it gets glitchy, the sound is always way off. Horrible. And one of the games that I played through, the first couple levels, was Popeye. It looked and sounded good on this. So just very surprised. So maybe worth the effort. Maybe even if you had a busted Famicom system, man, you could salvage the cartridge slot out of it. Just take it out of it and put it in this. Until I take it out, I can't see good enough to count the pins. I think... I may be wrong on this. I think NES is 72 pin. Famicom is like 60. Because the NES has a few more chips in it or whatever that needs those extra pins. Has to do, I think, with the lockout chip or whatever. Don't know. Sucks that I can only find this in one place online, man. I was hoping I'd find it on sale someplace. I think I am signed up with Wish. I've just never ordered anything. What I may do is just get on the Wish site and just put in NES or whatever, just Nintendo, and see what comes up. Because, man, you get on that site, they got tons and tons of clone systems, and maybe this will pop up. So, I don't think there's a date either in the box. Let's see. Model number. Might be able to go by that too, which is XPG/FC/01. Yeah, I don't see a date anywhere on this box, so I have no idea when this came out. So it's something you just have to research on. Or it could be maybe this was just a special edition-ish. Because I was spotting ones where it just says FC Game Console, but doesn't look like this. It looks like your typical just freaking brick with ports on it. So, don't know. Otherwise, I'll keep researching on it. If I find one for sale on like Wish or whatever, I'll let you guys know. I'm pretty sure buying one of these new is probably dirt freaking cheap. They're usually like freaking $20 at most for these damn things now. Unless you get one that plays multiple games, like NES and Super Nintendo and Sega and whatnot. But even those have gotten cheaper. So, say, man, if any of you guys have one of these and done anything to it, let me know, man. It'd be cool to see what this could be upgraded on if it's possible. Can't see any other places in there for adding more parts. Just the cartridge slot and that one little spot that looks like maybe it's for a capacitor or something. So, later.